Det är dags igen för Fredagsmagasin att Venström för Premier League-fotboll här i England. Jag tänkte att vi skulle starta lite centralt den här gången. I huvudstaden, i London, vid Trafalgar Square, hos Lord Nelson där uppe. Ett minnesmärke över det stora och vunna slaget i början av 1800-talet för England mot Frankrike och Spaniens flottor. Det är ju inte så länge sedan riktigt som England vann där ute i Europa, men jag tänkte att det kunde få fungera lite grann som symbol och en påminnelse om att det var ett tag sedan ändå som det var England som segrade på den där scenen. När det gäller fotbollen och nutiden är det ju så att när det nu sparkar igång igen så har England det här facit. I Champions League 5 förlorade matcher av 8 möjliga. I Europa League, varken Tottenham eller Liverpool har imponerat. Southampton och West Ham tog sig inte ens dit. Trots starka resurser och möjligheter att kunna nå resultat. Välkomna till en ny verklighet. Det säger vi till Premier League-klubbarna. Välkomna till ett nytt program säger vi till er som tittar och eller lyssnar. Vi finns ju på iTunes, Acast och YouTube. Det här Fredagsmagasinet belyser just det här bekymret för Premier League-klubbarna, för England. Som sagt, välkomna.
English teams in Europe are not doing that great at the moment. I think we'll be back in business real soon, but I feel like we're not taking Europe really seriously at the moment. We're all quite serious about the Premier League, and that's basically distracting us from actually taking the competitions very seriously, both in Europa League as well as the Champions League.
Distracting you?
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is quite simple. And when you look at our teams in the Premier League, we all seem to take the Premier League very seriously because of how competitive it is. Other leagues, in other words, I feel like they are foregone conclusions before the season even started. You know who's going to win. In the Premier League, you can't really predict it that well, and you don't know what week you're going to lose. I mean, we've lost to Crystal Palace, we've lost to... Who else have we lost to, guys? My memory is...
Too many.
Too many this season. It's not looking really good for us at the moment.
Okay, your opinion about the results for English teams in total?
I think that English teams, they don't put their strongest... Well, not necessarily Chelsea, but other teams, they don't put their strongest lineup out all the time.
Are you talking about West Ham and Southampton, where they try to reach Europe? Or?
I'm talking about... Yeah, well, like, if you look at Tottenham, for example, when they play in the European Cup, they never put their strongest team out. They put, like, their youngsters out there.
Liverpool as well.
Yeah. And then just to save their big players for the Premier League, because that is what they concentrate on most. So, yeah, they don't take it as serious as they should. Because it's actually a big opportunity to win something, especially now that the winners go to the Champions League. So I think they should try harder because it gives English football a bad name, and that's why they're thinking of maybe dropping the fourth place?
Yeah, the fourth place to Italy. Are you worried about that?
Yeah, I am worried about that because...
I'm worried for Arsenal, mate.
Pardon?
I'm worried for Arsenal. They're going to lose their fourth place. Wenger's going to be upset. But the problem with English teams in European football is we underestimate our opposition. Arsenal proved that on Tuesday. Chelsea didn't really underestimate. We just didn't perform. You know, Man United and Man City in their first games, maybe they underestimated. But you can't underestimate teams in European football because they're there for a reason and they play in different leagues, and some leagues are stronger in some departments. Like Italy's a very defensive league, and obviously the EPL's English Premier League's very, very fast. So it really just does depend. It really does depend on. We do underestimate really, but it does depend on what aspects you look at. Defensively, defensively, English teams are quite weak in the Champions League. We always concede quite a lot.
So you think it's more a question of attitude rather than quality? Do you think that?
It's mentality, really. It's the way they go and they look into the games. Obviously, Man City haven't played in the Champions League much. Obviously, they've only been in there a couple of seasons.
But most of the players have in other teams and so, and with City as well.
But if you look at the teams who get to the semi-finals or quarter-finals, they never put out a weak lineup. Bayern Munich, they always have their strongest 11 on the pitch. Juventus always have their strongest team on the pitch. Always have their strongest team on the pitch. If you look at Arsenal, they bought a keeper in the summer transfer window and they don't even play him. That's what Wenger's pointed out, that they've got a weakness in the goalkeeping role. Then they buy a brand new goalkeeper, fantastic goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and they don't even play him.
So you're upset for Wenger's sake?
He's making himself look a bit of an idiot, mate. Specialist in failure and all that.
Oh, but you have lost too.
Yeah, forget about that. We're going to win today.
Do you think it's a question of attitude or quality for the English team in general?
Yeah, I think for the English team in general, I would say quality. Yes.
Lack of quality.
Lack of quality, exactly.
Isn't that strange because the clubs are richer than anyone else actually?
Yeah, you can say the clubs are richer, than the average clubs in Europe. However, the quality of the players, other Europe sides, you can imagine a club as small as Porto compared to Manchester United. The quality of players they have that can do the job on the pitch is quite fantastic.
Några fler fakta när det gäller ekonomin. Det är ju den faktor som är överlägset viktigast när det gäller framgång i den moderna fotbollen. Rikast vinner och så neråt i en fallande skala. Så pass tydligt och enkelt att det är nästan så att revisorerna skulle kunna vara de nya tipsexperterna. Men inte England i Europa. Där är förhållandet ett annat. Engelska klubbar är rikare än någonsin tidigare. Engelska klubbar är rikare än de allra flesta andra ute i Europa. Men lyckas ändå inte riktigt som förr. För några år sedan var de resultatmässigt bättre. Det är helt enkelt så att många andra har lyckats förvalta sina pund bättre än engelsmännen. Till exempel, sedan 1999 när Manchester United tog trippen. Sedan dess har engelska klubbar enligt en expertuträkning blivit 500% mer värdefulla. TV-pengarna har 10-dubblats. Och intäkterna har rusat iväg från i runda slängar 10 till 50 miljarder. I den där ekonomiska utvecklingsligan så kan såklart klubbar som Bayern München, Barcelona och Real Madrid hänga med. Problemet för England är dock att många fler lyckas trots sämre resurser göra bättre resultat. Det handlar inte bara om de största utan även andra klubbar i de länderna och så Frankrike och Italien också. Fotbollsengland har helt enkelt blivit världsmästare på att göra affärer av sin fotboll, men mycket sämre på att vinna matcher. So okay.
Yeah.
Southampton supporters, I see.
Yeah.
I'm asking about the English teams in Europe.
Yeah.
And you almost made it.
We nearly made it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You almost made Europe
Yeah,
as a Southampton
I
fan.
don't think we wanted to be in Europe, to be honest.
You don't think so?
Well, I think it would have been a bit too much of a distraction for us, Yeah, you got the feeling that it would have been too much for our squad wasn't really big enough. So
as a Southampton
it's
fan,
it's not that we threw it away, I don't think. But
as a fan
of
the Southampton Football Club,
Yeah.
did you want it?
of course we did. Yeah, of course we did. But I think it would have been too much for us. Yeah.
Is that a general problem for the English teams? The interest in Europe?
I think it's like the lesser teams with the lesser squads.
Yeah.
They feel like it's too much for them. The big teams, they don't mind. They can handle it because they've got a bigger squad. Gives them more of a run out for their team, for their players.
But Arsenal and several others are losing too in the Champions League.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
That should be interesting for them.
Yeah. It shows the standard must be going down slightly. I think the Spanish La Liga is the one that's taken.
Are you worried for the English game in total, in general?
Am I worried for them? The English game? I think the standard's gone down a little bit in the last few years.
In what way?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've got a job to put my finger on it, really. But yeah.
Richer and richer, but not any better.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Perhaps the imports we're bringing in, perhaps they're not trying so much. Perhaps they're
have to sleep on that.
Yeah. Perhaps.
I think the trouble with the English teams in Europe is our Premier League is too tough. So we have a tough game every week, whereas Spanish, German, and Italy don't have tough games every week.
They don't?
No. Spain have only got two teams, Barcelona and Real Madrid.
But West Ham didn't even win in the qualification to Europa League.
Yeah, West Ham are only a small club, aren't they? West Ham are only a small club.
Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, also West Ham fielded a very weak team, so I don't think they really wanted to progress in Europa League.
Do you think it's a question of wanting more than have the knowledge?
Not in the Champions League, but in the Europa League, that's sometimes the case, yeah.
But Arsenal is losing, Chelsea's losing, and the Manchester team was losing in the first round.
Well, yeah, Chelsea had a tough game away at Porto, to be fair, and you still fancy us to win our group. But yeah, obviously Arsenal, they're rubbish anyway, so...
The signs, do you see the signs?
I don't know.
No?
She knows nothing about football.
You see the signs.
Yeah, no. The other thing is that all the other leagues, their teams want to beat the Premier League so that they can get in the Premier League. So all the other teams have got hunger. All the other teams, like the Swiss teams, the all the Russian teams, they all want to beat the English teams so that their players can get in the Premier League.
But you think you're the best?
Oh, we are by far the best. By far the best.
Alltså som ni hör, det är fortsatt stort självförtroende hos de engelska fotbollssupportrarna. Trots alla förluster i både Europa League-kvalet och nu senast i Champions League-huvudturneringen. Där är det faktiskt så att Manchesterklubbarna och Londonklubbarna har åkt på förluster i 5 av 8 matcher så här långt på serieupptakten. Trots det så är det ett stort självförtroende om att vi kan det här och vi klarar av det, bara vi tar det på största allvar. Det är lite grann som att den där övertron på det engelska som har följt med landslaget sedan världsmästerskapet 1966 har nu flyttat in i Premier League och klubbarna där när de väl är ute i Europa. Vi är bättre än vad vi verkligen är och vad resultaten visar.
Start for the match.
Hey, you're not a supporter?
I'm a big supporter.
Okay, how come you're not wearing a jersey?
It's in the wash. I wear it too much.
Didn't you know that it was a game day?
I did, but it needs to be clean. Can't wear a dirty Chelsea shirt.
So what about Chelsea and other English teams in Europe? What do you think about it?
At the moment, it's quite poor. I think the teams need to step up a lot, otherwise we will lose Champions League spots, which won't be good, because obviously Champions League football is a different kind of competition, but it's also a competition that brings in a lot of money and worldwide viewers as well for the club. So we need to perform better, I think, much better.
Step up in what way? Do you have the explanation? You could be rich.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I just think that the other teams, the foreign teams and stuff, are coming to play us, and they want it more. I think they want it more almost. Like, and we're not coming out and we're not taking it seriously sometimes enough. Well, that's the way I view it. I think that it needs to be. We need to want it more. I think as Chelsea, as our club, we normally do quite well in the Champions League. We're not. I think as a Champions League side, we're quite a good side. I think it's like your Arsenal's. Arsenal need to do a lot better. They've always been lacking. Man City. I mean, they need to do a lot better in Champions League. And as for United, I mean, I think they need to step up their game as well. But I don't know how to approach that at all.
You're talking about wanting, the opponents want more. The English players earning a lot, could they be kind of fat and happy? Lazy?
Probably, yeah. You get a bit too comfortable, don't you, when they're earning ridiculous money. So I think this year it's been tricky start. Frustrating for us as well. I don't know. The players just don't seem up for it like they did obviously last year, winning the league and everything. But I mean, this year, not all the players are the same. John Terry's being dropped, obviously club captain. I don't know. It's just a bit something doesn't seem right. But it's Chelsea at the end of the day. I think we will step it up.
I think we will have a good Champions League run this year. I think, despite our Premier League form, I think our Champions League run will be good this year. I've got a feeling. So,
still confident about Mourinho?
Yeah. No.
I've got all faith in Mourinho.
Yeah. Sorry for asking.
100%.
Ja, det där självgoda fotbolls-England känns igen nu också bland en del av supportrarna. Tron på den egna ligan är ungefär som av TV-avtalet. Enorm, helt enkelt. Men det här spelåret så kan dåliga sportsliga resultat få enorma konsekvenser också i årsberättelserna. I UEFAs ligaranking, den som ligger till grund för hur många Champions League-platser och Europa League-platser som respektive land får, där sprang Bundesliga om Premier League inför det här spelåret. Under den här säsongen så för Englands del riskerar Italien att göra likadant. Kort och gott, om Italien är bättre än England i Europa den här gången så är Serie A med fler platser i Champions League till exempel än England. Och det är ju där pengarna finns. Så det borde ju finnas en anledning till, och någonting som sporrar engelska klubbar med utländska ägare ofta, att ställa om fokus. Att börja vinna fotbollsmatcher.
Going badly at the moment. I think we've got to have a different style of play, to play in Europe. We play too much the English game and not so much the European game.
You think you still are?
Sorry?
You think you're still playing the English game?
I think we do. You know, like I think we play the high pressing game. You know, and we get found out from teams that hang back a little bit. You know, like and wait to invite teams on them. So, you know, that's where we're coming unstuck. We just need to be a little bit more cute, a little bit better defensively minded.
Are you worried to drop the fourth position in the Champions League to Italy?
Yes.
Do you think it will happen?
I think unless there's a big, you know, about turn this season, you know, like from all of the English clubs, then it will happen because we'll lose the points that Chelsea gained for winning in 2012. So, yeah, there is a chance that will happen, and we wouldn't want that to happen, obviously.
Is this a priority thing, do you think, the Premier League versus Champions League for the English clubs?
Well, if you should ask that question to the FA, because they don't give us any breaks when it comes to, you know, playing games, you know, before Champions League games. You know, we had to play on a Saturday evening, Porto played on a Friday evening. You know, like really, all the teams in the Champions League should get that sort of leeway from the FA, you know, so that we schedule the games accordingly. So.
You think that should make a difference?
I think it would make a difference, you know, like because that way then, because we need to be competitive in our own league as well, not just to finish in the top four, but, you know, we have aspirations to win, you know, like so, and it's very difficult to go and win, you know, like 2 very competitive matches in the space of 72 hours sometimes, which is all you get. So
you're sending a message to Greg Dykes and all the others on the FA?
Absolutely it is, yeah. You know, like.
Hello.
So yeah, the FA should take notice that, you know, like we're representing them in Europe, you know. So ultimately they should want us to do well and should do everything they can, you know, to give us that opportunity.
Central fråga i allt det här är kraften i och attraktionen för Premier League. Fotbollsvardagen här i England är extremt prioriterad helt enkelt. För klubbarna, inte minst. För publiken också. 95% av alla stolarna under en hel säsong sitter det någon på. Och punden de rullar in precis som de ska. Och ändå så har de allra bästa klubbarna i England lite knepigt och svårt med det här att attrahera de allra bästa spelarna i världen. Vi ska strax till Liverpool för fler Europatankar, både från blått och rött i den stan. Men just det här med attraktionen för fixstjärnorna. Jag var inne på det där redan före säsongen under transferfönstret tillsammans med min expertkompis Ola Andersson.
När topplagen nu ska ta in sina stora förvärv för att konkurrera med Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern München. Får de samma tryck i sina nyförvärv som för att kunna konkurrera mot Barcelona och eventuellt vinna Champions League?
Får de det?
Nej, inte som det ser ut.
Nej, jag tycker inte det heller. Ta till exempel Memphis Depay.
Bra spelare.
Men det är inte Neymar. Alltså, han gör inte Manchester United så bra som Neymar gjorde med Barcelona. Eller?
Det vet vi inte, men det tror vi ju inte. Det tror i alla fall inte jag, utan här finns det en dimension, eller här finns det en lucka för de engelska lagen. Då är det frågan om man ska ladda så mycket på pengar på varje enskild nu spelare, om man får säga dussinspelare eller truppspelare, eller om man ska liksom ta ner truppen i antal istället för 40, gå ner på 35 och gå in och gå för någon som är då självklart mycket bättre för att man ska kunna vinna. Då har ju Premier League, och det har väl alla ligor, men det är så otroligt mycket matcher då, som är fysiska matcher, så de måste ha en trupp som är ganska stor, och det är någonstans så att Premier League smäller så otroligt högt att vinna. Så att de här spelarna och de här trupperna måste man ändå ha. Och det tror jag någonstans ligger de lite grann i fatet för att kunna värva de allra bästa spelarna för att toppa sina lag, för att kunna konkurrera mot Real Madrid och Barcelona.
Och så ytterligare en sån sak att ta hänsyn till. Alltså Manchester City blir ju inte heller så vansinnigt mycket bättre motsvarande pengen de betalar för Raheem Sterling.
Nej, men de blir internt, alltså i ligan.
Men de skickar ju en massa hundratals miljoner till varandra, för brittiska, engelska spelare är för dyra.
De är ja, precis, och det är home ground players och allt vad det är som måste
uppfylla lite krav och kriterier.
Men det tycker jag är ett tecken på att någonstans att mycket är Premier League det handlar om, att ta hem spelare för att vinna Premier League och verkligen gå för det. Men Sterling är ju inte så att det är inte heller en Neymar som de tar in för att kunna liksom vinna Champions League. Så, alltså de har grymt mycket pengar i den här ligan. Men det blir för mycket när man har mycket pengar så kan man lägga alldeles för mycket pengar på truppspelare. Som i sin tur sen har man inte råd med de 2-3 bästa egentligen.
Och du vet också som har förhandlat en och annan spelaraffär, om en för Sirius och för AIK. Nej. Alla
förhandlingar, de är likadana. Det är bara att det är några nollor till.
Eller färre. Vet ju att om man vet att motparten har mycket pengar, då går man ju in i den förhandlingen. Alltså andra klubbar gentemot de engelska. De vet ju att det finns och trycka ut.
Och trycka ut. Och kommer City och vill ha en spelare.
Då får vi sällskap här, en duva.
Och kommer City och vill ha en spelare, oavsett vem det är. Och nu i det här fallet var det Sterling. Ja, då vet ju Liverpool att här kan det... Alltså har du en shejk som äger en klubb, då vrider du lite mer på den där kranen så kan du få ut ett par hundra... vad blir det, miljoner till.
Oavsett färg och oavsett stad, oavsett lag och oavsett sport. Nu söker vi just efter er, fans och eldsjälar. Ni som står längst fram i ledet, eller ensam på bortaklacken, spindlarna i nätet, hjältarna. Nominera årets fan och årets föreningshjälte på Unibets Facebook-sida. Det kan vara du själv eller någon du känner. I prispotten ligger 10 000 kronor till dig och 20 000 kronor till föreningen eller klubben i ditt hjärta. Ha det gött!
Välkomna tillbaka, välkomna upp till nordvästra England nu, till Liverpool. Här bakom så byggs det för fullt, Anfield, för fortsatt storpublik i Premier League och förhoppningsvis för deras del Champions League också. När det gäller nystart den här gången så inleder Liverpool ett slags vansinnestempo med 5 matcher på 15 dagar. Och så en resa till Rubin på det. I den där Europa League som ingen tycks vilja vara i. Inte här i alla fall, inte i England. Varken klubbar, spelare eller ens fans tycker särskilt mycket om den där turneringen. Inte Liverpool den här säsongen, inte Everton som har färska minnen från i fjol på andra sidan parken här borta. So what do you think about the results?
I think it's awful. We got all our teams underperforming. I think it's because the players are not. We've got too many foreign players in the Premier League. That's my opinion. But we need to address that. Otherwise, we're going to struggle. And England's already struggling as a result. So that's just my opinion, anyway.
As an Evertonian, do you want to be in the Europa League again? You were there earlier.
Yeah, well, I personally think the only Europe I want is Champions League. 'Cause at the end of the day, Europa League just completely impacts upon your season. And last season, can't have another season like last season. Just simply not good enough. Just Champions League or nothing for me.
The quality about the Premier League. What do you say about that now?
Yeah, the Premier League's got a lot of quality in it, but I mean, it just seems like with the Europa League on top, there's just too much of a fixture backlog. But the Premier League, what Everton need to do really is get new investment, in my opinion. That is what we need going forward.
But you're enjoying Liverpool struggling, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Didn't have to ask that.
Yeah.
Let's hope they keep losing.
Does it matter, the results in the Europa League?
No, it doesn't. No, it don't matter. Results in the Europa League don't matter.
How come?
Played weaker players, got stronger players that we could have played, but I think we just put out a young team, and that it doesn't really matter. I think it'd be better if we were out of the Europa League.
Well, I don't know. I think it might have been better if you played a stronger team, but I just think the rotation system is there for a reason. So I think he played as strong a team as he possibly could, really. I mean, we can still get the results, still go through, so it doesn't really matter, really.
Do you have to rotate, like Liverpool, for example?
I think so, yeah. I think it's the situation it is now. We brought quite a few players the last 2 seasons, so I think, the rotation system is there for a reason, and that should be used, yeah.
Well, wouldn't Liverpool be taking the Europa League much more serious?
No.
Why?
Because obviously there's Premier League and other stuff around it. They obviously concentrate on Premier League and stuff like that.
I still think it should be taken serious. I mean, there's a Champions League place now up for it. So, I mean, a cup's a cup, really. I mean, more weird trophies, more winning of trophies is always a good thing. It breeds confidence. So I just think they should go for it and should try put out the strongest team. I mean, they get a lot of money for the players, get a lot of money and they get paid quite well. So I think they should try a bit harder in it, really.
Till we do as bad as Chelsea, it doesn't matter.
That's it, right, yeah.
It's always the point.
Not Mourinho, yes, that's it. Thank you.
Alltså där kan det låta runt om i fotbolls-England, runt om i Premier League. När ligan nu startar om, när Champions League och Europa League sen fyller på med en ny omgång kommande vecka. Och det är alldeles tydligt, eller hur? Att England verkligen behöver sina hjältar, segerherrar och härförare. Också ett par 100 år efter Trafalgar.
Vad säger katten?